Hi, North Albany Community Church family. Tom here, and I'm coming to you from the War Room again. And I just want to read to you a verse out of Philippians. It's a verse you've heard me mention before, Philippians 4:6, and this is out of the New Living Translation. It says this. It says, "Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He's done. And then you'll experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. And then His peace will guard your heart and your mind as you live in Christ Jesus." It's a great promise verse about how God works in our lives. He guards our heart. His peace actually guards our heart, keeps us from being worried. Why is that? Because we come to Him thankful for all that He has done for us, bringing our concerns to Him with that mindfulness that He's cared for us in the past. And how do we come to Him? We come to Him in prayer, not in worry. So we come to God in prayer, thankful for all that He's done, and He provides a great peace in our hearts. What I want to focus on today in that verse is that idea of just coming to God, bringing our prayers to Him. You know, I want to be praying for our church family, our Pastor Dave, myself, everybody in the staff, everybody in the office prays for you guys continually. The elders are praying for their care families, and we're all praying for each other in our prayer groups, our small groups and our care groups. And I want to talk to you about that idea. And I want to think about what it means to bring our faith to bear in this particular situation we're living in. We know it's not the end of the world. We know it's not going to last forever, but it sure is inconvenient. And so are we really coming to God in prayer that He might work in us during this time? And when I think about that, I want to ask you, this is the time, I think, isn't it, when we discover if we're really a people of prayer or not. Are you a person of prayer? Have you given everything over to God in the midst of everything that's going on? Well, today I want to focus on two really important groups, and I want to give them over in prayer. I want to pray with them, and I want to pray specifically for them. First, I want to pray for our first responders and our medical teams. You guys are amazing. You're on the front line. You're really, in some ways, the wall between me and any illness or any danger that I face or my family faces. And if you're a first responder, you don't get the luxury of staying away. I understand that. You're the first in and the last out. And we want to pray for you today. We want to pray that God would protect you. We specifically want to pray that He'd watch over you, watch over your families, watch over your partners, the team members that you're with, because you are our protectors. And if you're a medical personnel, we know your job is difficult. If you're a doctor, if you're a nurse, if you're any kind of medical professional at all, you don't know what you're walking into every time you meet a patient. So we want to pray for you, because what's more, we're talking about here this idea that things that are out there, you're trying to get to them quickly. You're trying to keep them from spreading. You're trying to get in control of these things, and they are things that could actually get to you first. And we want you to be in the safe knowledge that we're praying for you. We're praying for you today that there would be breakthroughs so that we could get rid of this virus thing, that we could begin seeing people healed, and we could begin seeing you more protected and maybe the first to be healed in all of this. And we're also praying for your ability to comfort others, your ability to care for others, because it's difficult to care for others when you're worried about your family and you're worried about everything else going on around you. So just keep in mind, you were born for this time and this situation. God has your back, and we want to join in on your confidence in what God is doing for you. Now, the second group I want to pray for, not our first responders and medical folks, far from it. I want to pray for families in our church. If this is a tough time on families, it's not often that families are stuck together Everybody, oftentimes in the same living room at the same time, from the crumb crunchers up to the high schoolers, along with mom and dad. And we want to pray for you at this time. We want to pray that this time might be really a sacred time for you. And I know that sounds strange. It may seem almost impossible, but I want to pray that you would have a sacred time together. It may seem like God is out there doing other things, working on other people. But you know what? God's given you this opportunity to grow together in love, in intimacy, togetherness like no other. Maybe it's a game night. Maybe you camp out with the little ones in the living room and make camp there. Maybe it's time to talk faith. Seriously, sit down and talk faith issues. Or maybe it's just a time to reassure each other of your love and your care for one another and your protection of one another. Families in our church, we're praying for you. And parents, encourage your teenagers, encourage your children to be in touch with their church leaders. Get in touch with church leaders and set up an opportunity to email your child and email a greeting, and maybe set up a FaceTime or a Skype conversation where they can just stop in and say hi. Wouldn't it be great if their Sunday school teacher read them a bedtime story? I mean, that kind of thing can happen. All it takes is a little planning, maybe a phone call. Use this opportunity, folks, to grow as a family. I don't know about you, but this is a really tricky time out there. And so when things get tricky, I get simple. And I start focusing on the things that matter the most. My relationship with God, all that He's doing in me and through me and could do. But also those closest to me, my family. And those maybe in that next circle who aren't family, but they're protecting us and they're for us. I don't know about you, but I'm so grateful and I'm so prayerful today during this time. I hope you will join me in prayer for those folks.